I want to run very quickly through what a marketing plan is. I often talk to my talented tiny business owners and I tell them, unless you need money, you do not need to go through that process of making a business plan, but you do need a marketing plan. In the Doers, Shakers, Makers Facebook group, you actually can find a live video where I go a little more into detail on this. I'm going to run through this in under 5 minutes though. I personally like to think of a marketing plan in 8 parts. All right. So what are the 8 parts of a marketing plan? The first is understanding what your vision, your mission, your why, and your customer is. It's kind of 2 things, but otherwise we'd have like 20 steps. So we're combining a little bit here. You need to understand what you're doing, the problem you're solving, the reason behind why, and who you are solving that problem for. That's the first step. The second is to really understand who you are, who the person is that's going to be solving this problem, why it's important that you be solving the problem, not somebody else. We call that the unique selling proposition, but also in there, you can think of it also, you can do the SWOT analysis on this, you can do the things that you're up against and bring in your skills, all of those things as well. But you're really thinking about, what do I do well? What am I bringing to the table that's making me different? The next is to understand who your competition is. This is really helpful not only in pointing out why you're going to provide certain value over, well, you don't want to say over somebody else, but what your value is, number 1. And number 2, you need to understand this so you can niche down a little bit and understand exactly where, that's the positioning, in the market you lay. What part of that market will you be part of? The fourth, we're combining a lot in this 4th step, but they all go together. That is understanding what the products you're offering are, maybe adding some new products in, maybe reviewing how you're talking about these products, the pricing on all of these products to make sure that you're having something at the entry level all the way up to the higher end of your offerings, the place you will be putting your things out there, because in marketing there are hundreds of things and places that you can be and do. You want to think of social media as one place that you can have your marketing, your website, another place. You do not necessarily need to do more than 7. It's a great number to think about in your marketing plan. I will be in 7 places. That includes your website. It is not meant to make you completely overwhelmed and exhausted. It is meant to understand that there is more than just social media. Social media may not even work for you. It might be that you want to be a little scrappier and that you are using a lot of out-of-the-box guerrilla marketing ideas to get things done. It may be that you have a higher budget and you want to do a lot of maybe direct mail packages that arrive at businesses' doorsteps. It depends on all of the things we have talked about so far. And last, of number 4, you want to make sure that you understand what your promotional strategy will be. So it's not just saying, I want to be on Facebook, but talking about how you will be on Facebook, how you're going to show up, how many posts you're going to do a week, what you're going to be sharing, and down to that. The 5th thing, of course, is that as we're talking about all these things that we want to do, you have to have goals, you have to have measurements, you have to understand what your idea of success is with your strategy and with your sales. So what do I want to accomplish? How much do I want to sell? What do I want to get of engagement? These are great ways to start with your goals, measurements, and success metrics. 6, my goodness, if you haven't been writing down all these things that you've been thinking about, what good is that going to do? 1, the power of writing down will help it get out there. And 2, when you write it down, it will be easier to do number 7, and that is implement it. Because if you don't know what you're doing, how are you supposed to take action? Having that plan written down makes it so each week, each day, you look at your plan and you take action. It takes a lot of that. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm overwhelmed. I need to procrastinate. Right out of the process. Maybe you're writing it down on paper and putting it into something like Todoist. Maybe you have a calendar that you keep it all on, however it works best for you. But you have to make sure you are doing number 7, and that is implement. Taking action may be the most important thing on this entire list, because if you don't take action, how are you going to reach your goals and achieve any of the successes that you want? And then lastly, it goes hand in hand with basically the action part of it, and that is to review that action. Once you take action, you have to say, well, did that work? Or if I tried it, should I try it a different way to make it work? If I just make it a little different, perhaps I'll have better results. That is why review is essential. Those take you through, or I took you through, the 8 steps, the 8 very busy steps of a marketing plan, essential as a talented tiny business owner to understand what you're trying to accomplish. I highly recommend you create a quarterly marketing plan. A year sometimes gets a little too long. We tend to either put off doing some of the things, or being tiny, we just change too much over the course of a year. 12 gives you a great chance to review, make sure you're constantly taking action, remove the things that are not working, add things that you think may work better. I can help you with this. If you would like to work one-on-one with me, I recommend a tiny tune-up to get your marketing plan created and get you implementing it after a 2-hour session. And of course, I'm here every week with a Tuesday business tip to give you more tips. You can do this yourself. You can do research on the internet and put a marketing plan into place. It is not something that is above what you are capable of doing. So get out there and do it. If you need help, I'm here. But if not, I do believe in you, and I believe that you can go do it. Go get a book from the library. It's not rocket science. You can do it any way that you want to. There's no right or wrong way to do a marketing plan. The important thing is to keep in mind who you're talking to, what you're talking about, who you are, who else is doing things, where you fit into it, how you are serving, your pricing, where you are, your strategy. Make sure that you are having strategy, that you're writing that down, taking action, and reviewing. I'm Sierra Bailey with Doers, Shakers, Makers. I know you can do this, so good luck. I'll see you next week.